Good morning. It's about 8:15 in the morning. All loaded up, heading out for our first bike packing trip of the season. And it's 6 degrees on the thermometer. I think feels like it's about a -5, so it's going to be an interesting day. I'm not going to bore you with the drive, but I'll show you a little bit of it because it's pretty much just country road and snow right now. We have about an hour to go to get there. And then once we're there, I'll explain what we're doing and see if you think we're crazy or not. I am happy to see the roads are actually dry and good condition. We got about, 2 to 3 inches of a wet snow yesterday, and then it got down to the negatives overnight or single digits. So I was afraid we might have icy conditions for this drive out to the ride today. But so far looking good. Just when I said the roads look good, we're starting to catch a little bit of glare ice, which some areas are going to call this black ice, but that's what I'm driving over right now. This is not melted snow, this is all ice. The drive wasn't too bad. We're still a couple miles away, but we're almost there. Pretty smooth other than a little bit of glare ice. I will show you once we pull up to the quote-unquote parking lot where we're going to stage for the night and what our starting point will be. So be there in a few minutes, show you what we're looking at.
In a quarter mile, turn left. Take the next left, then you will arrive at your destination. You have arrived.
All right, here's our first glimpse. Dropping down into the parking lot. See if I scrape. And this is actually not a parking lot. This is a frozen lake. So this is where I'm going to be staging up for the night, leaving the vehicle here and heading across. Looks like they've plowed the road for us. We've got a good ice road today. And we went almost double digits. We were at 9 degrees. It was 10, probably feeling about 0 right now. So we will see how this goes. Take you along for the adventure. I realized at this point I got so excited once I got on the ice I forgot to explain what the whole adventure was about. So this happens once a year, weather and ice dependent. It's called Bike Across Bago. It's an unsponsored ride and everybody can join. It's about 8 miles each way across the lake, so total of about 16 miles depending on how the ice road is cut. And then a shop owner for Winnebago Bicycles, he adds an additional part to the adventure and makes it an overnight camping adventure up in the state park. So that's what I'll be participating in, is the ride out, staying overnight, and then coming back the next day. the total, we had about 200 people estimated riding bike across Bago, and 7 of us stayed overnight. The ice road that is cut is lined all the way across with Christmas trees, and last year was the first year I participated. It was a completely different experience. As you can see here, we had no snow on the ground, so the actual lake was like an ice skating rink. And then here's the state park again with just the leaves from the fall and absolutely no snow. We got a dusting overnight, but that's all we saw during that whole trip, as compared to this year where you can see we got, I believe, about 4 inches of fresh snow the day before the ride. So we had a lot more snow and snowdrifts to deal with while crossing the lake, and then even camping, we had quite a bit, and then we got an additional inch overnight. As I said, this ride is heavily dependent, of course, on the weather and ice conditions. And last year was the first time it actually occurred in about 3 years because the ice just had not been thick enough. So now we've been able to ride it 2 consecutive years in a row, which has been a really great experience, and definitely seemed like more people are out there this year. We do get asked, how do we know it's safe to be on the lake? And really, the ice is never 100% safe. We get a lot of the information from the local fishing clubs. They monitor the ice conditions, and they also look for cracks and will put out bridges for the vehicles to cross safely. They do measure it usually on about a daily basis, especially as the sun is out or the temperature starts heating up. This particular day, ice conditions were about 18 to 20 inches thick.
So quiet out here. Snow's even taking out the seasoned riders.
The snowdrifts here, they don't look that bad in the camera, but actually they're pretty tough to get through with so many riders already being ahead of us. It was actually better if you could find a fresh line and just create your own tracks. Like here, where so many riders had already been through, ended up washing out your front wheel a lot if you got hooked in any of those lines.
Oh, nope. So close.
And this coming up is actually a crack that they're not able to bridge because of the ice heave. It had frozen back over, so it was safe for us to cross, but they had to cut the ice road south and then around it, so the ice road ended up being about a mile longer if someone took that route. Once you successfully made it across the lake, some of the riders chose to turn around and immediately head back, but most of us all stopped at one of the restaurants on the other side. We chose the Shanty, which is right off the shoreline, went inside to warm up, get a quick bite, and then the majority of the riders headed back across, and our small group, we continued on to the state park, which included a large hill, which you'll see up ahead. Winnebago Bicycles had a camera crew following us for part of the ride, and here we are passing that crew. I'll actually put a link of their video in the description because you will see it's much higher quality and very cinematic. It's a great video to watch to get another viewpoint. And then here we are starting up the hill, and you'll see this is the struggle for a few minutes.
Far back.
So this hill's defeated me 2 years in a row now. I got a little bit farther up this year, but still had to walk the last section. One of the other riders said his computer showed it the steepest is about 12% grade, with the average being 15%. And then usually once we get to the top, we actually take single track trail into the state park, but this year with the amount of snow, they actually use that for cross-country skiing. So we had to detour for a couple miles and head out onto the highway, and then we were able to cut back in onto a trail and get into the campground a different direction. I didn't realize it until later, but my camera battery died, so you only get to see me set up the beginning part of camp. We are officially off the ice. Made it out and back and overnight in the state park. Everything went really well. Had two goals in mind. One was to make it up the hill, which didn't succeed at that. Not to go down, because last year I did go down and had a bad fall. That was successful this year. Very happy with that. Overall, camping trip was great. They had created the ice road, had a few drifts yesterday, but today was much nicer, smoother ride coming home. Had a nice tailwind to push us a little bit. And temperature last night was about 15 degrees. Today it's about 24. So a little bit nicer weather. All of my camping gear held up, stayed warm overnight. So overall, I'd say successful trip. Very happy for first one of the year. And hope you enjoy getting to see a little bit of the craziness, what we do to stay active in the winter in Wisconsin. Thanks for watching.